Hi, I'm Benjamin, and I've been playing Dungeons & Dragons since high school. Over the years, my experience has expanded to include systems such as GURPS, Dark Heresy, and Shadowrun. Now I'm here to make my experience available to you and help you make your games as much fun as they can be. Adversity is one of the driving forces in any role-playing game, as the role players and their characters will have a goal, which can be as simple as get to the corner store and buy a coffee, or as complicated as manipulating two empires into war through political maneuvering. Adversity is anything between their starting point and achieving their goal that slows, hinders, or opposes. Adversity can be an active force working against the players, such as an army of ninjas trying to kidnap him before he can get his coffee, or a more general barrier, like none of the players speaking the language of either country they wish to manipulate. It can be environmental, like a giant cliff face stopping them from getting to the corner store, or social in nature, like an obstructive bureaucrat. But most commonly in pen and paper role-playing games, your adversity comes in the form of combat. The reasons for this are not too hard to understand. Tabletop role-playing evolved from tabletop wargaming, where combat is the sole purpose of the game. Due to these roots, a majority of role-playing games have extensive combat rules and large tables of weapons, classes built around fighting, or whatnot. Adversity is at its core the entire reason the game is fun. Adversity makes victory taste sweet, or makes every reward feel earned rather than given. Many games are a power fantasy of one kind or another, but that merely means that the adversity is suitably impressive to compensate. In any action movie, no one would be impressed if the hero were to gun down unarmed mooks and then claim victory. He was never at risk, even if he technically beat his enemies. However, the extended battle with the villain's right-hand man that has both beaten to a bloody pulp and has the villain look unstoppable until the last moment, that is something memorable. That is something enjoyable, because there are stakes, even if we know who's going to win deep down. Most RPGs take it a step further because we don't know who is going to win. In an epic fight against a dragon, some or all of the characters might die. I'll talk in some later video about deaths as a consequence in RPGs, but suffice to say that the very real risk makes tabletop games have the potential to be edge of the seat if other elements are handled well. There are lots of elements of building tension in a story, but some of the core ones are that the audience must have a connection to the characters involved. The stakes must be understood. The risk of failure must feel like it's there, and ideally the motivations must be understood in at least a broad sense. As the characters involved are personally built and run by the PCs, having them get invested should theoretically be easy. However, it's not something that can be taken for granted, as certain things can kill the mood so badly that even people who built the characters and want to play can lose investment. The easiest way to lose the investment of players is to not treat their characters as characters. A story where the characters are treated as interchangeable sets of numbers without personality will quickly kill the story. A game where the characters have no agency in their actions will also lose investment. Stories that are too dark all the time can cause apathy and lose investment. Avoiding these pitfalls can mean extra work, but it always pays off. I recommend that you give the characters a chance to establish themselves outside of any situation with adversity, such as having the characters chill at a bar, or go shopping, or even just chat around the campfire about what's been going on. This will let the characters establish character traits and distinguish themselves from every other human fighter out there by revealing that they get completely plastered after half a pint of weak ale, or that they are actually more concerned about the aesthetics of the armor they buy than how effective it is, or even that they have been sending a portion of the loot they get back home to pay the healer taking care of their elderly mother. Agency can be much harder because, well, you've got a planned out adventure to run, and if you give your players too much freedom, then they might just ignore it. There are a couple of ways around this, but the worst way is to ignore any choice that doesn't progress the story. That will quickly ensure that no one is having fun at the table. One thing you always want to do is look for decision points in the story that is, places where there are major decisions, and plan for the two most likely outcomes. Maybe more if there are more opportunities, but much of the time these points will be binary. Then, when the players arrive at this point, there is no wrong decision, and their agency will affect the adventure going forward and will get them invested. Of course, the best way to control the game also increases investment. That is, character motivations! If you know what motivates the characters to take action, be it love or vengeance or glory or riches, then you can have them go exactly where you want them to go by letting that guide them to the end of the adventure. Each result will be different, of course. A hero who's motivated by vengeance isn't going to let the object of his vengeance get away easily, while one motivated by greed might let the villain free if it leaves the treasure vault unguarded. Stakes must be important in a fight to be memorable. This does not mean big. Not every adventure needs to be saving the world from some terrible big bad. Smaller, more personal stakes are often better, because saving the world is a bit hard to grasp. You can only see a bit of the world after all. But getting revenge on the man who cheated and killed your beloved father, I think most people can put themselves in those shoes. The swashbuckler asking everyone the group encounters if they have 6 fingers on their right hand is a great character beat, and can be used in so many ways by dropping hints like, I heard something about a 6-fingered man in the next town over, or I used to work for him, allowing you to build up a long, slow pursuit in the cause of vengeance. Using the above examples, you could have a world-ending adversary who has the 6-fingered man as his henchman. Suddenly, saving the world is a secondary motivation, as the swashbuckler is more interested in revenge against his father's killer, which may be why he's coming along in the first place. And so we come to the best form of adversity. Adversity that ties into the player's motivations. Because the 6-fingered man is the only one who knows how to get past the traps of the villain's base, and suddenly the adversity is that the swashbuckler has been waiting 20 years to get his revenge, but the rest of the party won't let him take it, because they need the 6-fingered man to save the world. Then, at the last devious trap, the 6-fingered man escapes, and the swashbuckler has a choice. Do I abandon my friends and the world in their time of need against the big bad to pursue my lifelong quest of vengeance? In summary, personal adversity will always be more engaging than cosmic adversity that the players are dragged into. So remember to balance both out for maximum engagement in your epic game. That's all for now. Don't forget to like, subscribe for more content, and join my Patreon. Members get custom rendered art of their characters, monthly one-shot games run by me, and potentially they even get to take part in a full, long-term campaign. In any case, keep well and have fun.